What's good with the fight fans? It's your boy Kijana back with these fight predictions this week. UFC Fight Night, Hermansson versus Cannonier. It should be a pretty good fucking card. There's 13 fights on it. There's a few fights that I'm looking forward to. The Dhec versus Lando Funada fight's gonna be a banger for sure. Let me see who else. That Ishmael fight should be good. He's an up-and-coming star. I feel like he's gonna be really good. Who else? The Maisie Chesson fight versus Lena Landsberg. I don't really like Lena Landsberg, but I do like Maisie Chesson. She's pretty good. She's a finisher too, man. She's definitely good. And then the main event, I mean, Jack Hermansson versus Jared Cannonier, and then Gunnar Nelson versus Gilbert Burns. Those are all top-notch fights to me. And then fuck, dude. Even the Olichik, Michael Olichik, and the Khalil Roundtree fight. I mean, fuck, dude. There's like 6 or 7 fights on here that I'm looking forward to, so it should be a fucking good card. I didn't get my fix on the last fight card. The last fight card just didn't do it for me, man. And yeah, I wasn't satisfied with the fights and the outcomes of a lot of the fights. A lot of the decisions were bullshit. A lot of people got robbed during their fights. There was about 2 or 3 fights that were just straight robberies. The judges didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They need to get some better judges in a lot of these fight cards and shit, because they're just not judging the right way. I don't feel like they need a better system. Yeah, I mean, and then the fucking main event didn't even happen. I mean, it was just a shitty fucking card. A lot of the fights there was too many decisions. There wasn't enough finishes, and it was just a crappy card, dude. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. This fight card's gonna be good. I feel like it's gonna be a really good fight card. A lot of finishes too as well. So yeah, I'm gonna jump straight into it. The prelims: Jack Shore versus Nohelan Hernandez. Jack Shore, aka Tank, 11-0 record, 4 KO/TKOs, 6 sub wins. He always looks for the finish. From the videos that I watched and like the tape that I watched of him and shit, he's always looking for the finish. This guy's pretty legit. He has 5 wins by rear naked choke. So out of his 6 subs that he's had, 5 of them are all by the same choke, which shows this guy practices that one choke a lot. I mean, he's really good at it. He's decent with his striking. He's relentless with his subs, though. When he gets a hold of you, he's gonna keep going for that submission until he gets you, and most likely it's gonna be that rear naked choke. That's his go-to. He's at his natural weight. At least that's what it appears. It looks like he's fighting at his natural weight. He's not super fucking shredded. And just because you're super shredded doesn't mean that you're not fighting at your natural weight. But this guy just seems like he's fighting at his natural weight. He has pretty good takedowns, and his cardio is not bad either. Nohelan Hernandez, Suave. His nickname Suave. 9-3 record, 3 KO/TKOs and 6 decisions. His fighting style is all right. He kind of just gets in and gets out with his movement and shit. He doesn't really look, I'm not going to say he doesn't look for the finish, but he doesn't seem like he has that real knockout power or that killer instinct to finish people. He has 2 sub losses. His last loss was by rear naked choke to Marlon Vera. So that already doesn't look good. He's fighting someone with 5 rear naked chokes. He's fighting someone that's really experienced with that type of submission skill. And yeah, I mean, this guy better have been practicing a lot of fucking submission defense, because we already know Jack Shore is going to go for a submission in this fight, or a few submissions. It might only take one though. He does a lot of feints. He keeps his range, stays calm in his fights, so that's good. His kickboxing's pretty clean. Trains at AKA. He has long arms, long legs. But like I said before, he's not a power striker. He's probably, if it goes to decision, he's probably not gonna. He might win. He could win if he outstrikes Jack Shore. He's a calculated striker. His takedown defense is pretty good as well, but he's just not a finisher. So for that reason, I can't roll with this guy. He's a point fighter, and those kind of fighters they're boring to watch unless they're strategic, super strategic. If they're like Wonder Boy, then they're pretty exciting to watch. But yeah, this guy's fighting style, it's cool. I can't knock it, but I'm gonna roll with Jack Shore on this one. Next fight, Marc Dhec versus Lando Funada. Bone Crusher versus Groovy. This is gonna be a good fucking fight. I'm really looking forward to this one. Dhec was on the rise when he first got in. 13-3 record, 6 KO/TKOs, 1 sub loss. 1 sub win, 6 decisions, and 1 sub loss. He's an explosive striker, fast twitch muscle. That's all you need to know about Dhec. He's very, very, like I said, very fucking explosive. He has knockout power for days. His last fight, he had a great performance against Joe Duffy. He was coming off of back-to-back loss, three. He was on a 3-fight losing streak versus Nasrat Hakparas, which he's on the rise. Dan Hooker, he's on the rise. Drakkar Klose, he's on the rise. So all the fighters that he's lost to are all big, pretty big names in the UFC right now. They're all going through win streaks, and they look pretty good, man. I mean, yeah. So he did his fucking knockout against Timu was fucking vicious, bro. It was straight. It was vicious. Timu shouldn't have been in there. He shouldn't have been in there with the killer. Because Dhec's a fucking killer, man. They call him Bone Crusher for a reason. This motherfucker hits hard. If he catches that chin with a kick or a punch or an elbow or anything, you're most likely going to sleep, dude. The dude's got dense fucking muscle, man. The only thing about that, his body type and just his cardio is just not great. He tends to gas out around the second. But I did see in the last fight against Joe Duffy, he did preserve some of that energy. Sometimes he comes out so wild and so quick and just so explosive that like he gasses himself out within the first round, and then he's basically fucked. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be an interesting performance because Lando Funada, he's known for cardio. He's well-rounded. He's a 10-3 record, 4 KOs/TKOs, 5 subs, only 1 sub loss. Both of these dudes, they have 1 sub loss. His last performance against Mariona was great. He submitted him with ease. Mariona shouldn't even be in the UFC. We've seen that in his last performance this last weekend. But Funada, man, this guy's a very creative striker. He's super fluid with his movement, very smooth with it and shit. Light on his feet, always on his toes, never flat-footed. Does a lot of fucking yoga and shit like that. I follow him on Instagram, and I've seen some of his videos, workout shit on YouTube, and the dude is his movement is flawless, man. His movement is real nice. I like it. He has a calm demeanor. He's well-rounded in the cage. He really has the full package. It's really just his mental side. He needs to get his mental side, I think, together. That's the main thing, and I feel like he kind of has. He almost knocked out Tony Ferguson. That was on short notice back in 2016. He's still a rising star, man. So he has a lot of potential. But he comes up short in his decisions. So, yeah, I mean, and sometimes he tends to wait. Sometimes he's not very fast on the trigger. I feel like if he could get a little faster on the trigger and try to put people out, put him to sleep, or either submit him or knock him out, however he wants to do it. I feel like this guy could be a great fighter. But he just slow starter, and his mental is not all there. I feel like a lot of times. So. But yeah, I'm gonna roll with Lando Funada. He's got better cardio. Dhec gasses out. If Dhec catches him with something, he could definitely knock out Funada. But Funada almost knocked out Tony Ferguson, and that was only a few years ago. And Ferguson's a fucking beast. So, yeah, I'm rolling with him. Next fight: Maisie Chesson versus Lena Landsberg. Maisie's 5-0, 2 KOs/TKOs, 2 subs, coming off dominant performances to Sarah Morris and Gina Mazzani. Well-rounded. Uses her distance well, very good footwork. She cuts off the octagon real nice, and she has really good top control, good ground and pound. If she gets on top of you, you're probably not gonna get up. She's very lengthy. She has long limbs, so I mean, yeah, she's a force to be reckoned with within that women's division, dude, for sure. Lena Landsberg, elbow queen, 9-4 record. 4 KOs/TKOs, 5 decisions, 3 TKO losses, 1 decision loss. That's not good. 3 as a woman, it's just not. I mean, as anyone, it's just not good to have 3 KO/TKO losses. It's not good, man. You probably got some brain damage in there, honestly. Coming off an impressive win to Tanya Evinger, it was impressive, but on the other hand, Tanya Evinger is just. I never thought she was UFC caliber. She's good. Don't get me wrong. She's good. She's beating some decent people, but she's the mom of the division, you know. She's not really in the best shape. Doesn't really seem hungry anymore, and so Lena Landsberg kind of fought a washed up old lady a little bit. Not to be rude or nothing. I mean, but that's just how I feel. She doesn't have the best head movement. Her elbows are crisp. That's why they call her elbow queen. But she's fighting Maisie Chesson. Chesson has elbows as well, and she has knees, and she's long, and she's probably gonna knock this bitch out. Man, her clinch work's pretty fucking good too. Her elbows on the ground and her elbows in the clinch, Landsberg, they're nasty. But she ain't gonna be able to do that against Chesson. I don't feel like. She's very one-dimensional. Doesn't mix things up enough, and she's flat-footed as fuck. If you're fighting someone that's not Chesson cuts the ring off, and she's gonna pressure this chick, and I'm rolling with her to get the dub. She's probably gonna get a first or second round TKO. So yeah, that's honestly my most confident pick in this whole fight card is definitely the Maisie Chesson versus Lena Landsberg. She's got a lot to prove still, Chesson, so I feel like she's coming out hungry. She's coming out to bang. She wants to get a finish. She don't look for decisions. And I like that about her, so I hope she does win. Next fight, Brandon Davis versus Giga Chikadze. I think that's how you say his name. Yeah, Brandon Davis, 10-7 record, 3 KO/TKOs, 3 subs, 2 sub losses, and 5 decision losses. He's durable. His last loss was to Kyung Ho Kang, which I honestly felt like he won that fight. I felt like he won 2 out of the 3 rounds, but they didn't give it to him. They gave it to Kyung Ho. He did beat Randy Costa prior to that in a second round submission. Excuse me. Good takedowns. He has decent boxing, and he does improve on each one of his fights. Each one of his fights, if you notice, he gets a little bit better each time. He's not a great fighter, but he's not a shitty fighter either. He's just an average fighter. But he could end up being really good. I feel like Brandon Davis could end up being really good. He's pretty well rounded. And the Zabit fight that he did, the fight versus Zabit Magomedsharipov, it wasn't a bad performance by him. He just got caught with that fucking, what was it, the knee bar. Sharipov is just very tricky, and I think he was coming in on short notice for that fight too. Brandon Davis came in on short notice with a few fights, and he has a big weight cut, dude. This guy runs like ridiculous. I want to say he runs like 20 miles a day or some shit. There was a documentary, not a documentary, but there was a video on YouTube with him, and he runs like 20 miles a day. And I mean, honestly, bro, I don't know how anybody does that. That's a lot of fucking miles, man. I used to run 4 miles a day, and that killed me. So if you're running 20 miles a day, like, you're doing some serious work. The only thing about that is I feel like if you're running 20 miles a day, yeah, you have good cardio, but by the time you get to the fight, I feel like you're gonna be kind of drained. Like, you might have good cardio, but you're gonna be kind of drained. You ain't gonna have that oomph, that real drive, that real like knockout power. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Giga Chikadze, 7-2 record, 5 KOs/TKOs, 2 sub wins, 1 sub loss, and decision loss. He's a finisher, kickboxing background. His kickboxing is very nice. If you look up some of his YouTube videos, he's pretty nice with his kickboxing. He's not bad. He's very hittable though. He leaves his chin high. He stands up straight. He doesn't really tuck it in. Doesn't have his shoulders tucked or nothing, or shoulders up and his chin tucked. He does stand up very fucking high in his fights, and that kind of worries me. He has a nice counter left hand, good kicks, coming off a sub win over Damian Mazaredas or Manzanas. I don't know how to say this guy's last name, but he's coming off a sub win. He's on a 2 sub win streak, making his debut in the UFC. This will be interesting because this guy's a kickboxing background, but he has 2 sub wins in his last fight, so it tells me that this guy is pretty well rounded, or he's fighting bums. One or the other. Either or, it's going to be a good test for Giga. I'm rolling with Brandon Davis, man. He needs to get this fucking win, dude. I picked him in the last fight he lost. I picked him in the fight before that he lost. I did not pick him against Magomedsharipov. Zabit. I didn't pick him against Zabit, that's for sure. But, I mean, Brandon Davis, come on, man. You got to get the win. I'm rolling with you. You got this shit. Next fight. I'm going through my notes. I took more notes. I broke even with my money on the last weekend's fights, and I probably would actually came up if fucking Yair would have fought and he would have won. But it is what it is. At least I didn't lose anything, you know. But yeah, next fight, CR Bahadur Sada versus Ishmael Nardi. This is gonna be an interesting fight too. CR, the great, 24-7 record, 14 TKO/KOs, 6 subs, 2 sub losses, 5 decision losses. Another durable fucking fighter, man. 5 decision losses. He only has 2 sub losses. Never been knocked out. This guy has a lot of fight experience, man. A lot of fucking fight experience. He is coming off a loss to Curtis Millender by decision. Was on a 3-fight win streak prior to that. Hasn't fought anyone of significant name in the UFC. Trains at Jackson Wink MMA. Very nice clinch work with his knees. Tends to gas out in all of his fights, though. If you watch his fights, he always gasses out. He does hit hard, very fucking hard. Definitely has knockout power. Swings very wild, though. Looping hooks. His top control on the ground is pretty good, and his submission game is actually pretty decent as well. He did submit Brandon Thatch with a beautiful arm triangle choke. That was a while ago. He's never been knocked out, like I said, so he is durable. Feel like he can take a punch. Kind of flat-footed, another kind of flat-footed fighter, but I mean, he does cut the ring off pretty well, and he pressures his opponents. He does pressure his opponents, and he's always looking for a knockout. As you can see, he has 14 KO/TKOs out of his 31 fights. That's half, man. That's half. That's pretty fucking good. But he's fighting a really fucking strategic opponent, man. Ishmael Nardi, the Austrian Wonder Boy, and the reason why they call him the Austrian Wonder Boy is because he kind of has a Wonder Boy type of style. He has a karate background. 18-3 record, 11 KO/TKOs, 5 sub wins, only 1 sub loss. He lost badly against Chance Rencontre, and Chance was coming in on short notice, 5 or 6 days notice, and he basically gassed out. He almost knocked Chance out in the first round, and he couldn't fucking. I picked him to win that fight. I honestly thought he was gonna win. Everybody was telling me pick Chance. There was like 3 or 4 people that told me to pick Chance as an underdog, and I didn't listen to him. I thought this Ishmael kid. I watched his highlights, and I thought this motherfucker was gonna come in and just knock him out. And Chance, dude, he can take a punch. This motherfucker took some punches in that fight. And yeah, he just used his wrestling against him, laid on him, and just wore his ass out. I want to say he had 5, 6, maybe even 7 takedowns on Ishmael. And Ishmael's takedown defense is pretty fucking good. But he gassed out in the second round. He couldn't really do nothing. By the third, he couldn't even throw no strikes. Chance was just taking him down with ease. So yeah, I mean, that was a fucking, I don't know. That was a shitty pick on my part because he was so expensive on DraftKings. This guy hits hard, though. He's durable. He's a pressure fighter. He jumps on his opponents fast, especially when they're hurt. He has decent takedowns, and he's very creative with his striking. You don't really know what he's gonna throw at you. He's kind of unorthodox. He has that karate style, man. Really nice kicks. And he does need to work on his cardio, so that's the main thing I would focus on for this fight is that cardio. But I feel like he's fighting a guy who gasses out faster than him, so I'm rolling with Ishmael on this one. Ishmael's going to get the job done. I don't know if he's going to get the finish because this other guy's never been knocked out. If he does get the finish, he could get a sub on him. Maybe he does get his maybe CR does get his first knockout loss or TKO loss. This kid's good, man. Ishmael is good. He's gonna be great if he can just get his cardio together. Maybe that's his nutrition or whatever it is. But I feel like he's gonna win this fight. Next fight, Alicia Dhec versus Mahmoud Muradov. I think that's. I don't know if you say. I don't even know if that's how you say his name, but it's whatever. So Alicia Dhec, Monzo, 12-3 record, 5 KO/TKOs, 4 subs, 1 sub loss. Lost his last fight to Kevin Holland. He's an average striker. There ain't nothing special about Alicia Dhec. He's got good takedowns, pretty good ground and pound. Nasty elbows, especially during takedown defense. During his takedown defense, he always throws a few elbows when people try to take him down. Try to hit you in that soft spot on the side of your head near your ear. Kind of near that temple area. He tries to hit you with some elbows there and knock your ass out, and he has knocked people out with those. But he's an average fucking fighter, dude. I honestly don't even think he should be in the UFC. But yeah, he's fighting another dude. 22-6 record, 15 KO/TKOs, 3 subs, 1 KO loss, 3 sub losses. He has a lot of fight experience as well. 11 fight win streak, last 3 by TKO/KO. This dude comes to knock your fucking head off, man. He hits very hard as well. Super wiry, very wiry. He goes for the finish every time. He's trying to, like I said, he's trying to knock your fucking head off your shoulders straight up. He has nice trips and takedowns, lethal ground and pound, and his overhand right is very precise. He tends to catch people with that overhand right a lot. And numerous of his fights, he's caught people with that overhand right. So I mean, yeah, I feel like he might put Alicia Dhec to sleep. I'm rolling with Mahmoud Muradov. I think this is his debut as well. I'm rolling with him. I can't roll with Dhec. He's too average of a fighter in there. I feel like if you just get someone off the street and you had him train for maybe a year or two, they'd probably be just as good as Dhec, if not better. Dhec is just not, and Dhec gasses out too. He's just not he's not UFC caliber, man. I'm sorry, he's not. UFC's picking up a lot of people that shouldn't even be in the UFC, and I'm not trying to knock people or nothing. Like that's dope that you're in the UFC. Whoever makes it, man, because it's hard to make it anywhere nowadays. But he just shouldn't be in the UFC, in my opinion, man. People don't really want to watch him. He's a boring fighter. So yeah. Next fight, Alen Amedovski versus John Phillips. Alen Amedovski, 8-1 record, 8 KO/TKOs. He's a pure finisher. Combos for days. His combos are nice, precise, and vicious. If he clips that chin, you're going out. You're going to sleep. You're going night-night. Reading you a bedtime story. It don't matter. He's a fast starter too. Really good wrestling defense. Actually, I'm going to say really good wrestling defense. His wrestling defense is all right because Krzysztof Jotko was taking him down at will. He defended a few takedowns, but Jotko just kept getting him on the ground and eventually got him in the crucifix. He didn't finish him, but he was close to finishing him with that crucifix. He couldn't do nothing when he was in that. Throws very wild looping hooks and overhands, but he does seem to find his target every time. I mean, 8 KO/TKOs, you're finding someone's chin. So, I mean, yeah, this guy's a beast. He's a high-volume striker. But Jotko definitely fucked him up. And Jotko's not even that. Jotko's good. I'll give Jotko. He got good ground game. But when he tried to be a striker, tried to rely on his striking, it wasn't his type of fighting style. So when he went back to his ground game and shit, it was probably the smartest thing Jotko could have did. But he's fighting the Welsh wrecking machine. And they call him the wrecking machine because he's coming to wreck shit. He's coming to fucking wreck shit, dude. He's coming to knock you the fuck out. 21-9 record, 18 KO/TKOs, 3 sub wins, 2 KO/TKO losses, 5 sub. What is it? 5 sub? Yeah, 5 sub losses, I think. And yeah, one word for this dude is knockout power. Shit, well, 2 words. Knockout power, man. Fuck this guy. This guy damn near should just be a boxer, man, because he don't really offer nothing else. He throws bombs. He's a pure striker. He's looking to separate your head from your fucking body, man. That's plain and simple. He does tend to gas out in the second round. So if he doesn't knock you out within the first, you might have a chance against him. We seen that with Jack Marshman. I felt like he beat Jack Marshman by decision. Marshman was running around the ring the whole fucking fight. And this dude, John Phillips, just couldn't cut the ring off the right way. And Marshman was just running around the fucking ring, though, literally. He was running a marathon around that bitch. And John Phillips he couldn't finish him. I guess if it was a smaller ring, Phillips definitely, if you would have did the tire shit, like what is that drill called where you put your foot in the tire and shit and you just throw blows, how the boxers do it. If they would have did that, he would have knocked Jack Marshman's ass. He would have flatlined him. He would have been done. But yeah, I can't roll with John Phillips on this one. He's gonna probably gas out. I'm rolling with Alen Amedovski, 8-1. This guy's a beast. I feel like he'll get the finish. And John Phillips tends to come up short on some of these decisions. Main card, Alex Oliveira versus Nicolas Dhabi. Cowboy, man. Cowboy, the Brazilian Cowboy. I like this dude. 19-7 record, 12 KO/TKOs, 4 subs, 1 KO/TKO loss, 4 sub losses. Coming off a decision loss to Mike Perry, a sub loss to Gunnar Nelson. Those are both great opponents. If you lose to those guys, I mean, it is what it is, dude. Those dudes are great. If you lose to somebody that's great, shit, I mean, you could always come back and maybe beat them another day or beat someone else that's great. You're just as good as honestly, dude, you're up in this guy's up in that talk of like, he's in the top 20 for sure. For that division, man. Alex Oliveira, he's a very skilled fighter. Mike Perry he's just tougher, dude. Perry's a fucking stud. That guy's a beast. He's one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. But yeah, Alex Oliveira, long limbs. This dude hits hard too. He's bony as fuck. You wouldn't even realize that he hits that hard. But these bony motherfuckers, dude, I mean, when they hit you, it's all bone. There ain't no fat on it. There ain't no meat on it. So when they hit you, you're going to sleep. It's all bone hitting you. Like, and Alex Oliveira, man, dude, his kicks are nasty. His punches are nasty. And he's a madman when he's in that ring. He seems super calm. His demeanor super calm when he's outside of the ring. As soon as he gets in the ring, he's still calm. But he's a very, very lethal counter striker. If you come in swinging wild on him, he's going to clip you with something and you're going to go to sleep. It's plain and simple. You can't come in on Alex Oliveira thinking that you're just going to knock him out and pressure him. Yanti Medeiros did, but it was very back and forth, and Yanti could have easily got knocked out and lost that fight as well. He has a very good submission game as well, but he doesn't tend to use it because people can't take Oliveira down that easy. His legs are so long that when he sprawls, it's hard to get this guy to the ground. So yeah, Oliveira is well-rounded, man. He's fighting Nicolas Dalby, aka Locomotive, 17-3 record, 6 KO/TKOs, 4 sub wins, 3 decision losses. I think, yeah, all of his losses are by decision, I'm pretty sure. Vicious right hand, high volume striker, very good kicks. He does get hit a lot though. In his last performance, I mean, he's got a brawling type of style. His last performance against Ross Houston was just a bloody mess for both of those guys. One dude had a broken nose, other dude had a big gash on his forehead or whatever. It was a bloody mess. They had to stop the fight because it was so much blood in that ring, dude. It was crazy. Looked like someone just threw a bunch of tomatoes or something in that bitch, but it was a pretty fucking good fight. I think they named it a no contest. Nobody won, nobody lost. It was a good decision of the ref to stop it too, because it was only the 3rd round. It was like halfway or like almost the end of the 3rd round, and it was a 5-round fight. They still had 5 rounds. So somebody could have seriously got injured in that shit. It was a good fight. I liked it. But yeah, I'm rolling with Alex Oliveira. He's more experienced, more seasoned. They have almost the same amount of fights, but I just feel like Oliveira's fought tougher opponents, and he's in the UFC for a reason. He's been in the UFC for a while, and he's gonna stay in the UFC for a while. He's a stud. Next fight, Michael Oleksiejczuk versus Ovin St. Preux. Lord versus OSP. Lord, 14-2 record, 10 KO/TKOs, 1 sub win, 1 KO/TKO loss, 1 sub loss. This dude has a kill or be killed mentality. He's either coming in there to fucking beat you to a bloody pulp or submit you, or he's gonna be the one that loses. Probably, yeah, I mean, shit. He's gonna get knocked out or get submitted because he's never lost by decision, that's for sure. He's like I said, he's always looking for the fucking finish, dude, but preferably on the feet. He's basically on an 11-fight win streak besides the no contest versus Khalil Roundtree in 2017. His hands are real fast for that division. Very good movement. He's in and out quick too. He's quick. Very strategic, counter striking. His performance, it was a master performance versus it was Antugulov, I think that's how you say his name. 3 knockdowns, man. I picked him to win that fight. He had 3 knockdowns in the first fucking round. Fantasy people on DraftKings, that was like a holy pick. It was a holy night for you if you had him in your fucking lineup, dude. That guy, dude, 3 knockdowns. It was two overhand rights or 2 counter hooks or whatever it was, and 1 uppercut. And the dude kept pressuring forward. He pressured the first time, got knocked down. Pressured the second time, got knocked down, and kept coming. It's like, dude, like, you might want to regain your senses before you keep coming, because this guy, he's legit with his hands. He'll probably knock you out, and that's what he did. And the dude was sleeping. He was seeing Tweety Bird for a little bit. But yeah, he's fighting Ovin St. Preux. He's a veteran, 23-13 record, 11 KO/TKOs, 7 subs, 2 KO/TKO losses, 3 sub losses. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. He's got good striking, and OSP is a very tricky submission game. The Von Flue choke, which basically should be called the OSP choke, because I mean, he's had the most of them in the UFC. It doesn't really seem like he wants to be in the UFC anymore, though. It doesn't seem like he has that killer instinct anymore. It doesn't really seem like he wants to fight anymore. His last performance, even his wins, they weren't really that impressive, other than the Von Flue choke that he did. Yeah, man, I miss the old OSP, man, when he fought John Jones back in the day, and a few of these other fighters. Like OSP back in the day when he first started, he was a stud. He was a beast. He was coming to fucking finish you and get you out of there. He came close to beating John Jones too, man. But yeah, I mean, Dominic Reyes basically knocked him out. There was like the horn buzzed right after he got knocked down. They should have counted it as a knockout in the 3rd, but they didn't. But yeah, I'm rolling with Michael Oleksiejczuk. Lord, I'm rolling with him. I gotta roll with him. He's a very great counter striker. If OSP thinks that he's gonna do anything to this guy on the feet, it's probably not gonna happen. If he gets him to the ground, he definitely could submit him. He could definitely submit Michael, but I don't see that happening. Other dude has he uses his range well, good, very fast hands, and he's got good defense. So yeah, next fight, light heavyweight bout, Chabela versus Khalil Roundtree. Fuck, man. Chabela's pretty good. Khalil Rountree's fucking pretty good. Dude, Khalil Rountree's looked like a whole different type of fighter ever since he's been training Muay Thai. After that loss against Johnny Walker, it changed him. It changed him in a great way though. Like he's oh man, his performance against Eric Anders, it was flawless. Eric Anders is great. Not great, but Eric Anders is a really decent fighter, but he's so like slow on his feet. Khalil Roundtree was just walking him down and just fucking him up with leg kicks, dude. Like the dude could barely stand. Yeah, man, I'm a big fan of Khalil Roundtree and his whole backstory of how he lost all that weight, and just this guy's he's a very inspiring person, very inspiring individual for anyone to like kind of look up to, and just yeah, it's cool to see that shit. Chabela, man, pretty good striking. He's got decent wrestling. I mean, both of these guys are they're going to be coming to strike, so. But I'm going to roll with Khalil Roundtree on this one. I feel like that Muay Thai, like, he's been training so much, dude. In his last fight, he looked in great shape. His cardio's been great. He doesn't overextend with his punches or nothing like that. In the Johnny Walker fight, he was just outclassed. Johnny Walker is like 6'5". He's way bigger than him. And he caught him with that elbow. He couldn't get out of the clinch. But I feel like working with that Muay Thai, he's a whole different fighter now, man. This dude's hungry. He's fucking hungry, dude. He's coming to get the whole buffet. So I'm rolling with Khalil Roundtree to get a knockout, man, or a decision victory. This guy is coming for the buffet, man, and he wants seconds and maybe even thirds. Next fight, Gunnar Nelson versus Gilbert Burns. We already know what this is going to be. Grappling match. Gunnar Nelson has that karate style when he's on the feet, but he leaves his chin out there. He gets caught. I forgot who he got knocked out by in his, I want to say it was Ponzinibbio. Maybe it was Ponzinibbio. I can't really remember who he fought. I'm not going to look it up right now. But Gunnar Nelson, he's been one of my favorite fighters for a long time. He's in my top 10. He's definitely in my top 10. I like Gunnar Nelson a lot. His submission skills are so elite. Even when he fought Damian Maia, like, it was kind of like a stalemate. It was really a stalemate. And Gilbert Burns, dude, his striking is lethal. Gilbert could definitely knock out Gunnar Nelson because he leaves his chin so high. He has, like, his posture is so straight up when he fights that he could get clipped with the overhand right so quick by Gilbert Burns. And Gilbert is super explosive in the first round. So if you're not moving in and out fast enough, if you're not moving your head, which Gunnar doesn't tend to do, if Gunnar doesn't get him down quick and try to do something with the sub game, which is going to be very hard because Gilbert Burns is a submission specialist, it's going to be a long night for Gunnar because Gilbert has that striking ability to really knock you the fuck out. Gunnar has knockout power too, but not the same as Gilbert, man. Not the same as Gilbert. I really don't want to pick against Gunnar Nelson, man. Fuck, dude. This is a hard one. I haven't made my decision on this fight yet because it's just so... It's going to be such a great match. This is a chess match right here, dude. Oh, man. My gut is telling me to roll with Gunnar, so I'm going to roll with Gunnar on this one. I just hope he doesn't get caught with something. He tends to get caught with something. The last few times I picked him, he's lost. I mean, he's won me a lot of money, but he's lost me some money too. And I really want to see him get this dub. Gilbert Burns is a hit-or-miss fighter, though. If he shows up, he's definitely going to win. If he doesn't show up, he's going to lose by probably a submission or a decision. But I don't see Gilbert getting knocked out. I can definitely see Gunnar getting knocked out or maybe even submitted. But yeah, next fight, Marc Madsen versus Danilo Belluardo. Honestly, I didn't do any research on either one of these fighters, so yeah, I can't really... I guess I'm gonna roll with I'm gonna roll with, I think, the debuter. I think Marc Madsen is debuting. I'm not sure though. I have to look these dudes up. But Danilo Belluardo, I think I remember him fighting. He was a pretty decent striker the last time I seen him. Fuck, I don't know who I'm gonna pick on this one. And I think this fight just got put up on this card too, like a week or 2 weeks ago. Because I don't remember them having 13 fights. I'm pretty sure there's 13 now, and there was only 12. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with Marc Madsen. Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Marc Madsen. I'm gonna see how that goes. But I am gonna look up their highlights before I do my picks, my DraftKings picks on Friday, and before I do my parlays, just to make sure. But for this video, I'm just gonna roll with Marc Madsen for now. I don't know much about these dudes. But the next fight is fucking main event, man. Middleweight bout, Jack Hermansson versus Jared Cannonier. This is gonna be a fucking good fight, dude. This is another chess match, dude. Jared Cannonier got booed in Brazil, man, for no reason. No reason at all. I like his whole demeanor. I like his whole attitude. I like how he didn't have to say anything negative. People said that he was taunting the crowd. He wasn't taunting the crowd. The crowd was already booing him, and he basically said, what? Like, you guys are booing me. I just beat your fucking legend, so shut the fuck up. But that was a nice way of doing it. He didn't say nothing else to the crowd. He didn't say shit like Colby Covington basically saying that Brazil is trash. And Brazil ain't trash, dude. Only reason Brazil has so much garbage in that whole area is because fucking all these other countries they use it as a dump site. So you can't trash Brazil because they have a bunch of trash everywhere. You got to trash all these other countries because they're dumping shit in Brazil. Brazil's a beautiful, beautiful area. I've never been there. I want to go there, but it don't have nothing to do with Colby Covington. I don't know what the fuck that motherfucker was talking about. I can't wait for someone to knock that boy's head off. But yeah, man. I mean, Jack Hermansson and Jared Cannonier. Cannonier couldn't have did a better performance against Anderson Silva. He fought a smart fight, and he used Anderson Silva's weaknesses against him. And I love Anderson Silva. I've been a fan of Silva forever. I was so sad when he lost. Everybody gets sad when Anderson Silva lost, so it kind of sucks for anybody to fight him because he's such a legend that nobody really wants to, like, no one really wants to hurt Anderson Silva, but nobody wants to lose to him. It's a tough situation. I think Anderson has such a big name now that he shouldn't be fighting anymore because it's just unfair for whoever his opponent is, kind of, because everybody wants to pick Anderson Silva to win, man. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. He's the original GOAT. I mean, Anderson Silva, GSP, and John Jones, and Daniel Cormier, those are GOATs. But I'm going off topic right now. Jack Hermansson, his last performance versus Souza was fucking flawless, dude. Nobody thought Jack was gonna take Souza down and try to submit him, and he did it. He took him down. He didn't give a fuck about. He said it too before the fight. He said he didn't give a fuck about Souza's submission skills. He said everybody's afraid to take him down, and I'm not afraid to take him down. I'll take him down, and I'll try my submission game versus his submission game. And he was so confident in that it won him that fight, that decision. I mean, Jack Hermansson's a stud, dude. I picked him in that fight to win, and that was the first time I picked against Jacare in a long time. I love Jacare's fighting style, dude, but Jacare's a little old, and his head wasn't in the game. All he was thinking about was a title shot. He wasn't thinking about what Jack Hermansson could have really did with him. He thought he was gonna run right through Jack, and it just didn't go like that. I mean, Hermansson is well-rounded. He's got great striking. He's explosive. He can submit you. His cardio is fucking phenomenal too, dude. For middleweights, his cardio is really, really, really good. He's such an underrated fighter that, I mean, I feel like people need to put more respect on his name and kind of give him the benefit of the doubt, because this dude, he's been putting in a lot of work, dude, for a while now. I've been following Jack Hermansson for a minute. And I do think he's going to get the win over Jared Cannonier. I feel like he's going to take him down. He's going to outclass him. He's going to keep him on the ground, and he's going to ground and pound him until he can't do nothing or submit him. Cannonier is a great fighter, great stand-up fighter. He's a great opponent. He's a classy opponent. I like that. I like both of these fighters, but I just feel like Hermansson's the better all-around fighter. And Cannonier he could knock him out. He could knock Hermansson out, but Hermansson has such an unorthodox style, and he moves in and out so quick. And he cuts the cage off, and he's pretty much good everywhere. I mean, I don't really see too many flaws in his game. I'll have to rewatch a bunch of fights to really pick every flaw out, but I don't see too many right now. I mean, he's good. He's on the rise. So yeah, Jack Hermansson with the dub. Those are my picks for this week. Like, subscribe, comment. Tell me who your picks are. Tell me, drop any comment, man. Just try to drop some positive comments. Don't be so negative on my shit, please. I appreciate it. And yeah, everybody enjoy the fight. Stay safe as always. And yeah, subscribe. Tell people to subscribe to my shit. I really do appreciate it. All right.